Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to everybody. Today is Khatib. For the first and second khutbah is our Imam Obair Katchi. Also, boxes are going around. Please donate generously for masjid funds. ISCN news and events. Our June 28th family night, ISCN will hold a program called Empowering the Believer. It is on nutrition, fitness, and Islam, and it will be from 6 to 8 p.m. June 28th, family night. So please make sure, mark your calendars. ISCN is offering a 4-week summer enrichment program for children 4 through 12, starting June 25. For details, visit our website. Also save the date of July 27th. ISCN is holding an all-day first annual Women's Conference. And there are some great speakers scheduled to speak, so plan on attending that too. ISCN has a part-time job opening for a youth coordinator. For more information, please visit our coronamuslims.com. Also, summer school Quran classes have begun from 4:15 to 6 p.m. If you're interested, please contact our Imam. Also, as you know, ISCN has a prison program. We go to Chino prisons. So there's a need for khatibs. If anyone is interested in doing khutbah, it'll be once a month if you want to. Please see me after the salat. Today's lunch is, I've been told, is an Arabic cuisine. It's rice and chicken plate. Please buy a plate or two on your way out. Dua requests, please make dua of shifa for father of Muhammad Bella, who is critically ill in Morocco. In fact, I think he left for Morocco today. So make dua for him. And for mother of Sabira Jadwat, mother of Mahmoud Jadwat, who is in ICU in a local hospital. For Kamal, brother-in-law of Zia, who's having a surgery for brain tumor. And for Farhana, wife of Deepu, who has a bone transplant coming up on Monday. So make dua for all of them and for all others in our community suffering from various health issues. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them all shifa and make it easy for them and grant them full recovery. Ameen. And make dua of maghfirah for Khalid Mansoor, father of Muhammad and Salman Mansoor, who passed away in Pakistan. May Allah forgive his errors and grant him a high place in Jannah. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدًا عبده ورسوله قال الله تبارك وتعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خير يوم طلعت فيه الشمس يوم الجمعة فيه خلق آدم وفيه أدخل الجنة وفيه أخرج منها ولا تقوم الساعة إلا في يوم الجمعة أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. My dear respected brothers, elders and sisters, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask His assistance, we bear witness there is no one worthy of worship except Allah and Allah alone, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His messenger and His servant. We ask Allah to send the most choicest of blessings upon Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his family, his companions, and all those who follow him to the last day. Ameen. Every single week we gather, we get to meet one another, and we listen to a reminder. But sometimes we forget how special this day is in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how great this day of Jumu'ah is, and what a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the ummah this day of Jumu'ah is. And so today, just real quick, I wanted to mention some of the blessings and some of the etiquettes and adab related to the day of Jumu'ah. Sometimes we see that these etiquettes are missing, and when we don't fulfill something with its proper etiquettes and observe its full manners, then you don't get the same benefit as others would. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, the Prophet ﷺ mentions, the best of all days that the sun has ever risen on is the day of Jumu'ah, the day of Friday. In it, Adam alayhi salam was created, and on that day of Jumu'ah, he was entered into paradise, and on that same day he was brought into the world. And it will be only on the day of Jumu'ah that the day of judgment will take place. The day of Jumu'ah is better, according to the hadith, than both the Eids. It is greater than Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr. It is the day of celebration, the day of worship. Right? One of the meanings of of Jumu'ah, according to scholars, comes from the word jama'ah, that it is at one narration where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gathered the soil all different types of soil of Adam alayhi salam to create him. And another narration says that it is the day that we gather, of course. That we gather and we come to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a day that is oft repeating, that comes again and again. And according to a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that this day was given to us and from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a mercy to this ummah. That other ummahs, they differentiated, they were disunited about this day. And so they were given other days, or they chose for themselves other days, the Saturday and Sunday. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preferred us and gave this ummah as an honor and a blessing, the day of Jum'ah. And like this will be our entrance into paradise. Said the Prophet alayhi salam that we came last, but we will be the first. Chronologically, we came in last, as all of the ummahs. There's no ummah after us. But when it comes to entering paradise, we will be the first to be questioned and to be given paradise, insha'Allah ta'ala. Just like that, Friday comes first, and then come the other days. So, the day of Jum'ah, and especially when it comes to the khutbah, when it comes to coming together for the remembrance of Allah, it is the time to remember Allah. That is the main purpose. We come together in remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when it comes to a reminder, when the word dhikr comes, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to learn something new every week. That is a misconception. So remembering something means you might have known it, but it reminds you. You become empowered. You remember something, and when you remember it, it is beneficial for you. And so when people say that, the khutbah should be, we've heard about a lot of these topics. We're listening to Qiyamah, to Jannah. We've heard this hadith many times. Talk about something different. Let's talk about the economic issues or the political situation of the ummah. That is not the purpose. The purpose is the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so that it should be. Which does not mean that the same topic needs to be discussed. But when there is repetition, there is benefit in repetition, and this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to understand. When it comes time for the topic of the khutbah. Then the next thing is, as far as the day of Jum'ah in Islam, Jum'ah begins after the Maghrib of the day before. Yani Thursday night is actually the beginning of Jum'ah. And the Jum'ah night, the night of Jum'ah is actually Thursday night, thereafter the day proceeds. The night comes first, then the day. So those who want to get the best out of the day of Jum'ah should prepare themselves before Jum'ah begins, from Thursday. That's part of the etiquettes as well. To prepare yourself, to get yourself ready, and so on and so forth. And the day of Jum'ah is blessed throughout the day. And so one of the virtues is that if a person passes away on the day of Jum'ah or the night of Jum'ah, then this is a good sign. This is a good death. And in fact, the hadith comes that the person who passes away on Jum'ah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect this person from the trials of the grave. Another hadith says from the punishment of the grave. This person will be protected. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us and grant us all a beautiful ending and an ending on the day of Jum'ah. Ameen. Friday will be even special in paradise, in Jannah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have a market for the people of Jum'ah at the time of Jum'ah. For the reason we sacrifice or we give up the business at the time of Jum'ah, as has been commanded from us, to let go of all of those transactions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will honor the people of Jannah at the time of Jum'ah to be able to go to the markets of Jannah, to be able to get whatever their hearts please in Jannah. And in Jannah there's no cash or currency. There is whatever your heart wishes to take on the day of Jum'ah. The people of paradise will go and get this. And one of the greatest of all blessings, that thereafter they will be able to get, those fortunate souls will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself. And when they see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they return to their families, they will be made so many times more beautiful that their families will say, "What has happened to you?" In one narration it comes that both will not be able to recognize one another because of the light of what they have been through. And thereafter that light will be removed and they will see one another. And they will say, "What has happened to you? You've become so much more beautiful. You have become so much more attractive." And like this on every week of the day of Jum'ah in paradise, they will be more and more attractive and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will beautify them even more. So even in paradise, this day has a virtue, has so much speciality. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifies this day of Jum'ah in a surah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu idha nudiya lis-salah min yawm al-jum'ah fas'aw ila dhikrillah." That when the call is called to the day of Jum'ah, when the adhan is called, when the time comes in for Jum'ah, then rush towards the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No doubt the entire day is blessed, but the pinnacle of the day, the most sacred time is this time, at the time of khutbah, is this time of Jum'ah Salah. This is the most blessed time. And there is this time, another virtue of the day of Jum'ah, that there's a time in the day of Jum'ah in which no prayer is made, but that will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the different views and the different opinions is that it starts from the time between the two sittings of the khutbah till the end of salah. This is why most of the khatib, every single khatib makes the dua towards the end of the khutbah, so that du'as are accepted. And then there's different timings. Many say it's Thursday night, many say it's after Fajr of Jum'ah. But the opinion that has the most weight, or most opinions give it the time after Asr on the day of Jum'ah. That is the most blessed time between Asr and Maghrib, especially towards the end of the day of Jum'ah. This is the day when people should gather in the masjid and they should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as this is the time of acceptance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when the call has been made for Jum'ah, fas'aw. That word comes from sa'i. Sa'i means to rush, to go quickly. But you see, the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned that when you go for salah, go with sakina, with waqar. Go with honor, with dignity, with peacefulness. Don't be running. Over here, the word fas'aw, to rush. So there's a little contradiction. So it is not the physical rushing according to many of the mufassirun, but it is a spiritual, that your heart should be yearning to go, and that you should be looking forward and excited to go for the day of Jum'ah, as it is a day of Eid. Just like we are excited to go for the Eid, we should be as much excited to go for the Jum'ah. And that our heart should be there, and that we should be preparing way before because of the excitement we have for the day of Jum'ah. Physically rushing is the worst thing we can do for Jum'ah. That would mean to maybe miss out in taking the ghusl, maybe rushing, maybe, many people will end up parking wrong, many people will run, many people will go through people just because of that rush. So it's not the physical rush, but rather we should prepare beforehand, taking our schedules into consideration, because in this part of the world, it's not a holiday, unfortunately. But if we have the job, we have that situation where we can, and it is our legal right. As far as religion is concerned, we can take the time. So to take the time if we can. Many people I know that they take the day off and they switch their days. If they have the option, that is the best thing you can do, to take the day of Jum'ah off, so that you can be here many hours before. And that is the next adab, the next etiquette, to come early on the day of Jum'ah. To come early as you possibly can. That there are angels that are at the doors, and they start to write. They start to write the first person who comes. This is all from the hadith. Will get the reward of giving a camel and sacrificing a camel in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is for the first person. And that person can come hours before Jum'ah. And then the person who comes in the second hour, as much as giving a ram or a cow, and then a chicken, and then at the end, an egg. This is because the people in those days, they understood this as wealth. So the smallest thing, because the person who came the end. And the rewards are written as every single person comes in. And as soon as the Imam stands, and according to a narration, as soon as the Imam sits, they close their register, they close their books, and they sit down and they listen to the dhikr. They listen to the remembrance of Allah. They also are sitting with us, listening to the khutbah. So those who come after the Imam starts, they're not written down. And that same reward is not given to them. So from the best of etiquettes is to come as early as possible. If we can take off that day, alhamdulillah, it allows us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows our situation. If we cannot do so, if we're only afforded a single break, then to try to come as early as possible. And from the general adab, to wear the best of your clothes. To wear the best of your clothes that you have. Which means if you wore something on Wednesday or Thursday, it should not be the same as Jum'ah. Jum'ah should be something special. It should be a different garment. Even Christians, and I should not be using the example, but I will, that they, even for their Sunday, they have a special dress. They have a special dress that they wear. Unfortunately today, the Muslim has, the value has been degraded so much that it's okay, whatever, it just goes. But that's not the right way. The Prophet ﷺ said to wear the best of your clothes. That does not mean you have to come in the best of suits, but at least something that is decent. Something you would go to an interview. When you go to an interview, you don't just wear jeans and a shirt. You wear something that's acceptable, something that is decent. We are coming here as an interview with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to see the type of heart we came with, the yearning we came with, the intention to learn that we came with, because those are the intentions. To come with an open heart, with humility. Ya Allah, I'm coming here to learn and to seek your remembrance. I'm not here to judge the khatib. I'm not here to see exactly what was said was not. I'm here to remember you and to think and contemplate how much of this do I have in my life. So to wear the best of your clothes mean not ordinary clothes, something special. Whether you're going for work that day or school, wear something special. And the Prophet ﷺ said the best of your clothes are the white clothes. He said the people you take to your graves and the people that come to the masajid should be wearing white, if possible. If you can, wear white. If not, something special, something nice. You're coming in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It should not be that people come in their jeans, in just, their plain clothes, or as if they just came from the gym. And sometimes, unfortunately, we have to remind that such shirts that when you bend, you can see from the back. That is a disrespect to the masjid and a disregard for the respect and honor for the day of Jum'ah. It should not be done. We should be very careful about that. In some masajid I've seen, they hang thobes and they hang kurtas for people that just come with short shirts. This is especially for the men, so that they can put them on, subhanallah, because they forget. So, dear respected brothers and elder sisters, the respect for Jum'ah is to come prepared for the day of Jum'ah, especially when it comes to your clothes. And then to put on your best perfume, to put on something nice. And something nice would be something expensive most of the time. If you get a itar and it's worth $2-3, be careful. Get something that is expensive, something that is special for the day of Jum'ah. That this cologne, this perfume, this scent, this oud, this itar, this is specially for the day of Jum'ah, I'm going to wear it. And groom yourself. This is the day of your Eid. This is the day of celebration, the day of worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Groom yourself. Take away unwanted hair. Clip your nails. Do whatever it is that you have to. Do it especially on the day of Jum'ah. If you have to make a special dish, it should be made on the day of Jum'ah. A special dish that you remember that this was made, especially even in the time of Sahaba. One of the Sahabi was mentioned that we remember one of the ladies in Medina that she would make a special dish on the day of Jum'ah, and we'd be so happy that right after Jum'ah we could go to that and we would be able to enjoy that dish. So make it in that way. A special gathering if we can, whether it's a Thursday night, whether it's the day of Jum'ah, make a special gathering. This is the day of source of light for us. One of the reasons we read Surah Al-Kahf, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever reads Surah Al-Kahf on Jum'ah, light will be emanating from this person that will continue till the next Jum'ah. So to make it a habit of reading Surah Kahf. When it comes to bathing, to take ghusl. It is wajib on every Muslim man or woman that is baligh to take a ghusl on the day of Jummah. Whether it's before you go to work or school, and the best time would be before you come for the Jummah, that is the best time. But to take the ghusl, to cleanse yourself. All of these words are mentioned in the hadith. And then, فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, make an effort, rush, and go to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. According to most of the muhaddithun mufassirun, dhikr Allah, the remembrance of Allah here, it means the khutbah. It means the khutbah. That is the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, one of the etiquettes when it comes to the dhikr of Allah, and this is regarding the khutbah especially, is that it is wajib for every person who is at the Jumu'ah to listen to the khutbah very carefully, to the point where those things which are wajib outside of khutbah, those things which are wajib to reply to and to say outside of khutbah, now you're not allowed to during the khutbah. This is in the consensus of the scholars. So if somebody says salam to you, you're not to reply to them. You're not to reply to salam. If somebody sneezes, you don't even say yarhamukallah, you listen to the khutbah. It's as if you're in the salah, you're in the dhikr of Allah. If somebody says salam, comes up to you, yeah, you can shake their hand, but not overtly to say salam, maybe with the ishara, right? Just pointing. To the point, to the extent the Prophet ﷺ said, if someone is talking next to you, he said, do not say quiet. Don't even say unsud. Don't even say quiet, because if you do, faqad lagha. You have done something that is unnecessary, frivolous. Don't even tell the person to stay. You can point to them to keep it down. That is how serious it is to not speak during the khutbah. And I'll give you another example to tell you the extent of seriousness when it comes to the khutbah. There is an entire difference of opinion, an entire chapter and chapters written on whether a person should read 2 rakat when they enter and the khutbah is going on. There is difference of opinion. According to the Hanafi, according to the Maliki, it's not permissible. Because the dhikr of Allah, the wajib, the khutbah is going on, and that is a sunnah. And according to another narration, that it was specifically meant for one sahaba at that time. The sahabi came in, the Prophet ﷺ said, you didn't pray, stand up and pray 2 rakats. According to our understanding, this person was a poor sahabi. He did not have much. So for him to pray in front of others and for them to look at them, they would see how much he is in need of clothes and other things. And according to different madhahib, that it is preferable to pray the 2 rakat. That's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is, imagine if there's a difference of opinion on if you can pray 2 rakat or not during the khutbah, then what about somebody who's just sleeping? What about somebody who's having a conversation? Imagine how serious that would become. So this is a reminder, dear respected brothers and sisters, that the khutbah is not an ordinary talk. It's not the talk. You just go to a place and listen to a talk, or turn on or put on a YouTube video and listen. This is the khutbatul Jumu'ah. This is considered the ibadah, the worship of Allah. This is the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that's going on. Even if you're doing tasbih, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, don't even do that. Listen to the khutbah quietly and attentively. That is what the hadith says. And do not be fidgeting. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَمَن مَسَّ الْحَصَى فَقَدْ لَغَى. Whoever is playing around with the stones, because in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the masajid would be made with, there's pebbles on the ground, there's dirt. So people would be, you could play around with a little stone, a little pebble. That's just fidgeting. He said whoever has done that did something frivolous, something that was not needed, something that was idle. Now imagine taking out the cell phone, looking at your text, messages, all of that. Not going to go into detail, everybody knows. But to do that it's a total disregard for the dhikr and the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It should be shut off. It should be silent. It should be put in the pocket, or better yet, to be put inside the car. And if a person cannot listen to the whole khutbah, whether the khatib is very interesting or whether the khatib is a little boring, to be straightforward, if you cannot focus and listen with all your attention for 30 minutes, for 40 minutes without moving around, without having to look at your phone like 50 times, without having to speak to someone, then this is a psychological problem. This is an issue. There's a professor, Adam Alter, professor of marketing, New York City. He says some researchers refer to the cell phones as adult pacifiers. That if somebody doesn't get it, they get cranky, they get bored, distressed, and the pacifiers, they soothe us, unfortunately. That is the state of the people today. So we need to put that away, and we need to focus and understand this is an opportunity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us to condition ourselves to be able to listen, for us to condition ourselves to improve in our attention span, and to give the respect and honor that the Jummah khutbah deserves. Right? We have to focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our main goal. And my respected brothers and sisters, the presence of mind has to be there, right? The presence of mind has to be there so we can truly we give it our all, and then we can take back from the Jumu'ah. Many people, they're so unattentive. They're doing so many different things that they cannot remember a single thing that was said in the khutbah. So this is an issue, right? And as far as the khatib goes, as far as the khutbah, it shouldn't not be too long either. That is the point. The khutbah should be short. The message should be straightforward. In fact, one of the hadith comes that the intelligent person whose salah is long and the khutbah is short. The salah should be nice and long. The khutbah should be short. That is according to a narration. But in any case, when we are listening, we listen with our full attention and our focus. We leave the world behind. Leave the things of the world behind. It's just for a few minutes. This is a mercy from Allah. Allah wants to lighten our burden. Allah wants to lighten that and take our minds away for a little while. And then once the Jummah is over, you go and seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sustenance. You go back into the busy world that we are from. Another virtue of the day of Jummah is to give many sadaqah, to give lots of charity on the day of Jummah, to give that. And one hadith, and I will conclude with this, is the Prophet ﷺ mentioned the hadith that the person who has a bath on Friday purifies himself as far as possible, applies oil to his hair, applies perfume, leaves for the masjid. And when he arrives to the masjid, he does not sit down by removing anyone from their place. That's another thing. Unless you see a lot of open spaces, alhamdulillah, move forward. If you do not have open places, look for the side rooms. Look for the halls that are open. That is better for us. And if you are from the crowd and you see people in the back, please move forward for them so that they may have space. There is some space sometimes, so move forward. But when you see it's tight space and you're just walking in between and moving over people, this is not right. This is not right. One of the hadith says, one of the Sahabi was coming, he came and he was walking over every single person. The Prophet ﷺ told him to sit, because you are causing harm and you came late. You are causing harm, you came late. When you find a spot, sit at that spot. And alhamdulillah, our masjid is very big. We have a lot of space. So if the space is filled, to look for other space and not cause anyone difficulty. Causing difficulty could be to talk, have a conversation while others are trying to listen to the khutbah. Causing difficulty could be to park the wrong way, causing the masjid authority to have difficulty. Or being physically or rough, or whatever the case is, not to cause harm to anybody. So you come to the masjid, you perfume yourself, you do not sit down by removing anyone from their place, and you offer salah as much as possible. And when the khutbah starts, when the imam delivers his khutbah, you remain silent and you listen attentively. The Prophet ﷺ says, then his sins from the previous Jumu'ah till this Jumu'ah will be forgiven. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins on this day of Jumu'ah, to allow us to understand the greatness of this day and to observe all of the etiquettes of the day of Jumu'ah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده. قال الله تبارك وتعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته وأصحابه أبو بكر عمر عثمان وعلي رضي الله عنهم أجمعين. Dear respected brothers and sisters, one of the greatest of etiquettes that I will conclude with is sending salutations upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No doubt it is one of the greatest deeds to remember the Prophet ﷺ on a regular basis, but especially when it comes time to the day of Jum'ah. As in the end of one of these hadith that we recited, is that the Prophet ﷺ said, and send upon me as much as salutations as you can, because فَإِنَّهَا مَعْرُوضَةٌ عَلَيْهِ, they will be presented to me. They are presented to me. This person has remembered you. This person has sent durood and salat upon you, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever on the day of judgment, the closest to me will be the person who has remembered me the most, who has sent the most salutations upon me. So we increase in salutations. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, or sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, or whatever durood, whatever salat you know, to send that upon the Prophet ﷺ. One of the hadith says, Man salla alayya salatan sallallahu biha ashran. Whoever sends one salat upon me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send 10 rewards to this person and 10 mercies to this person. And one of the final hadith that the Sahabi, he was asked, how much he should do, and the Prophet ﷺ told him to do as much as he can, to do as much and spend as much time as he can in remembering the Prophet ﷺ and sending salutations upon him. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove his anxiety. Allah will remove the anxiety and worry, and Allah will forgive the sins of the person who is used to saying the durood and salat ala nabi upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us on this day of Jumu'ah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us our sins. Ya Allah, give us the understanding and the realization of the greatness of the day of Jumu'ah. Let us perform the day of Jumu'ah with all of its etiquettes and all of its adab. Ya Rabbil Alameen, those who are going through difficulty in the world from east to west, Ya Allah, you have mercy on them. Ya Allah, cause them relief, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, those who have passed away, Ya Allah, have mercy on them. Those who are sick in our community and abroad, Ya Allah, give them shifa. Ya Allah, give them shifa. Ya Allah, give them shifa from your mercy, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Have mercy on our community, on our elders, on our parents, Ya Rabbil Alameen, on our young generation, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma ighfir lana wa lil mu'minina wal mu'minat wal muslimina wal muslimat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qareebun mujib ad-da'wat. Allahumma alif bayna qulubina wa aslih dhata baynina wahdina subul as-salam wajannibna al-fawahisha ma dhahara minha wa ma batan. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. Ibadallah, rahimakumullah. Inna Allah ya'muru bil 'adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkari wal baghi ya'idukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Aqimus salah.
الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
استووا اعتدلوا استووا. Please make sure heels on the line, shoulder to shoulder. Please don't leave any gaps. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله. استغفر الله. استغفر الله. استغفر الله.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Jummah Mubarak to everybody. Just a quick reminder, it was already mentioned earlier. We have an opening for a youth coordinator. We need an experienced youth coordinator to really motivate our youth, especially the high school and upper mid school youth, because they are, of course, the future of Islam in this country. We want to make sure that the person who is hired will be able to motivate the youth, bring them to the masjid, and lead them in a very positive way. So if you know of anybody, or if you are interested and you have the experience, please contact me, or you can really go to coronamuslims.com, and it is posted there, and you can respond and post your resume on that also. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Just quick 2 announcements. Inshallah, please mark your calendars. Next Friday night, we have a very important family night, Friday night. It's health and fitness, the importance of health and fitness in Islam. We're going to have a nutritionist, a fitness trainer, and also the Islamic perspective. So please try to come with your whole family. Next Friday night, please save the date. And also we've already started our Quran classes daily. 4:15 to 6 o'clock, summer classes. So if you have not yet registered, please do come on Monday, inshallah, and join us. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.